Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another series review. This is on Netflix, and believe it or not, Lara Croft herself, the Tomb Raider, the Legend of Lara Croft, is back. She is in a brand new excursion, and it is insane. I have here one of my co-hosts, Ronan Unchained, just for you guys to go and give a little brief diagram of how this even started. If you looked at or played the game in 2013, it kind of rekindled everybody's excitement for Lara Croft. I mean, of course, Nathan Drake, spurred us along in between the times, but it started with Laura. And so once that game came out, two other games followed and preceded it. Then we also got a film with Alicia Vikander, and now we are back full circle with not only a Lara Croft but an animated Lara Croft series that is also very rated R and very serious. So, Ronan, what's going on, dude?
How you doing, man? Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
As far as I know, 4x4 casting for Lara Croft over the decades. That's an impressive feat, and the fact that the Hayley Atwell is following the footsteps of Camila Luddington, who revitalized the game series, and then Alicia Vikander with the movie. Um, this is a great pick to play Lara Croft.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and just kind of dive into it. What is this about? So, basically, for this story, you have it start off with a very young Lara Croft. Yet again, there is some interconnectivity to those original games that started in 2013. But if you've never played those games, this very much so proceeds past it and goes into a different direction because Laura, in the very beginning of the episodes, has a very good comrade named Conrad Roth, and that's played by Nolan North. And something happens very quickly, and then we're transported like a couple years into the future. And long story short, Laura is a shell of her former self. She is very much so angry. She is at times depressed, but she's also dealing with some PTSD from a tragic situation that happened to her outside of her own family tragedy.
Yeah.
So that's where we're kind of started from. But we also get an understanding that she has relationships. She has people that, she partnered with and worked with. And they're in their own rights, very interesting characters that are very important, strong in different ways. But one of the things that I say about this again is that we find out within the first, I want to say 15 minutes, that this is not shying away from death at all.
No.
It was, I think somebody's head got blown off the first 10 minutes, and then it was a slew of different deaths that Laura had to witness and also had to be a part of. And it's a very interesting direction because, I mean, one of the things I liked about the 2013 game, as well as Alicia Vikander's version, is that there are moments where it gets very dark. The difference with this, with animation, this is a series. So you're going to slow burn your way into seeing how deep the rabbit hole kind of goes. But what was your take on how they interpreted violence as well as Laura's dissension mentally, emotionally in this series?
I think what you said, it echoes that 2013 run of games, and how if you look back at the original games and the original Angelina Jolie movies were very much in the vein of the Bond movies from Sean Connery to Pierce Brosnan. And then if you look now at the 2013 games through the Elizabeth Kinder movie, and then now this series, it's very much you could see the dynamics parallels between what Daniel Craig's Bond brought to the grit, the rough grittiness, not afraid to get scabbed skins, to get hit, punched, kicked, whatnot. Like it was a gruffness to us, and I just love that there was this peak of her youth being like, this is who she wants to be. She wants to travel, wants to face off danger, but also that comes with consequences. And how I've never, and I'd have to go back and watch the movies and play the original games and whatnot. I've never seen Laura so down in energy and enthusiasm to go out in the world as she starts off in this series. And man, when I tell you, when she's in the zone as Tomb Raider, like they spare no expense with like the language, the attitude, and just the ass kicking.
Yeah, it's It's actually insane. Because I just didn't anticipate, like, the first episode, there's a scene that happens. It's a chase scene. Now, of course, Laura Croft's known for her chase scenes, but how we even get into the chase scene, like, there's a fight that happens in the mansion, and it's just so well choreographed. You understand, if any of you guys have seen Castlevania, and you know the animation team that's involved there, they are working on this, meaning that the animation for the action is stellar. What I didn't anticipate is, in addition to great hand-to-hand combat, they go and Laura kind of gets in their little vehicle, whatever, chasing the person down. And it's like they use great camera angles to entice you to build on tension. And most animations don't really do that. A lot of Western anime, like anime, does that all the time. But with this, it's very much so in your face very early on, and you just are not ready for it. And they kind of keep that same exact energy throughout from the very first episode. But again, that first chase scene set it off. It set the tone for what we had in store, and also what she was going to be willing to do. I think the first half of the first episode kind of like prepared us to like the violence and like her headspace. But I think that ultimately, and I mean, maybe you disagree or agree, is that we get back to a core of who Laura is. And it's not just the fact that, you know, she does have a family history. She does and has gone through, of course, a series of different catastrophic things that led her down this road. But she also is the archaeologist. She's also a tomb raider. She actually is good at this.
Yeah.
And so when you get to kind of get honed in there, you get the best of both worlds, all directions. But I don't know, what did you think about like their landscaping and the visuals and even the exploration for different locations in this one?
I just love that, in a way similar to Indy or Nathan Drake, Indiana Jones and Nathan Drake, is that like even when she's being badass and exploring stuff and being a full Tomb Raider and like jumping mountains and whatnot, and she's trying to get the treasure, like she's learning about where she's at and what she's either protecting or taking. And again, I'm not gonna spoil stuff, but there's an amazing episode where she goes to find a treasure, and in trying to find this treasure, she's trying to do a good deed. And in doing and potentially doing a good deed, she learns a lesson of how history interprets stories in different manners. And I thought that was so unique and fresh. How I had not seen that before in a lot of these adventure pulpy stories that I love so much. And yeah, man, like it's she's feisty, and yet knowing at a certain point, okay, I gotta like be a team player, or even try to find some negotiation terms, because for the most part, and that's what, again, it's a charming part that I love about her. It's my way, the highway. If not, leave me alone. I'd rather do this solo. And I point to like, Laura, you do the solo, you're gonna be 6 feet under the ground. So just for like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, listen to this person, listen to your hometown friends, listen to the people in this village who know the village better than you do, no matter how much research and books you've read. And yeah, and just experiencing Hayley's performance, where joyful, funny, charismatic, brutal, vulnerable, honest, and everyone say it, sexy. It's so. I love it when a story can do that, and especially in animation. That's how you know how rich the project is, beyond looking cool, beyond what they can do now with combat, with action. It's just like, okay, you care about this, and not just because you've been a fan of this character for a while now. So you care about because you're in the moment with the character and the individuals.
Yeah, and again, like you said, as far as the voice acting, I mean, Hayley is amazing. None of them are phoning it in. This isn't just like great animation, great story, and poor dubbing. I really, when Laura is in pain or when she is excited, you really feel it. Like you feel it not just through the animation, but through the vocal performance. But then there's other characters. Like there's a character called Zip, played by Alan. Moderato, who's kind of like this tech whiz, and he's got his own like preconceived notions about what's going on. He's got his own personality, but he
Yeah.
very much so is devoted, and you can feel there's a history there, and he's also very capable. And then there's a character like Jonah, played by Earl Balin. He very much so is very strong and capable, but at the same exact time, he's got his reservations for things that have happened in the past, and he's trying to deal with those in his
Yeah.
own way.
Reconcile. Yeah.
And I think that across the board, every character around her is as interesting, because even when you get to certain antagonists, you're kind of like left with like, what is this? Where are we going with this? And what is their connection to Laura? So I think that the fact that they scripted them very well and then they're acting it very well adds to making this an enticing series to want to continue. Once you get past, I want to say like the fourth episode, you realize like I can't go back. I got to keep going. Like I need to kind of see how deep this rabbit hole goes. But I will forewarn you, it's not just about tombs. It's not just about death and killing. There is some supernatural things that are going on, and it gets pretty crazy.
That
I
second episode,
like
man.
there's a episode and there's a moment that takes place on a boat, and
Oh.
I was kind of like, am I watching Castlevania or am I watching Tomb Raider? I questioned. And again, where there's like shows like Arcane and Castlevania and now this, I think that there's room for, even from an adaptation standpoint, to give us something that's more raw, but at the same time elevates the source material. If you can elevate the source material without just being violent for the sake of violence, and there's a reason there, and I think there is a reason here with this series, then you're doing something right. That's just my personal opinion on it. But yeah, let's go ahead and close the gap on this. What are your final thoughts and feelings on this?
As far as I know right now, from what I've seen, I'm digging this show. I like it. I hope it sticks the landing. I doubt it'll stray away. And I think this will be a solid entry into the franchise. And I want to just make this clear about everybody. Have we said that this is attached to the video games that were revitalized in 2013? Trust me, I would have wanted Camilla Ludington to come back and voice Lara. Trust me. I'm there with you with those who are reserved. Like, no, you got to bring back the one from the video game. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But there's some stuff that's out of our hands. And okay, if Camilla Ludington isn't back to play Lara, and if Alicia Vikander is not doing it in the movies, right now there is a tiny few select of people that I could trust to carry the torch and honor the past actresses who brought this character and kept her alive for 20 plus years. You get Hayley Atwell, that's a home run right there in my books. So right now I'm happy camper, and I hope it sticks a landing. And if it does, Netflix is gonna have back-to-back great animation shows this year. With me recently talking about Twilight of the Gods, it's just like if they keep this up, they're gonna be running the joint of animation, and we haven't even gone to Arcane yet. So,
whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'm a little salty. They just kind of like said, only 2 seasons, but who knows? That may be a spinoff where, I mean, it's League of Legends. There's no telling what they're gonna do with that. But what's your rating, A to F, for this series so far?
For thus far, I would give it a solid like A minus. Like I'm digging what they're doing. Stylistically, I'm engaged, and I just want to make sure that the music kicks in full gear. And I don't want the show to be like, well, tune in next time in season 2. It's like, no, tell a full story here, and then if I dig it most, I'll come back if you want to do season 2. But thus far, I would give it A minus, B plus. Like I really dug what I've seen thus far.
Yeah, I'm in the same wheelhouse. I'm at A minus to a B plus. The animation alone already had me. You already won me with the animation. You already won me with the cast. You brought in characters I had no idea or had any preconceived notions about, but at the same time, they were intriguing enough to catch my interest. But I think that the way that they designed the story, this is a very different Laura. We haven't really seen Laura in this state before, and we also don't know what this is going to make her to be. And even if you know, or a prior fan of Lara Croft, there's something for you here, even with this. So I think that all around, this is definitely a good ride. I highly recommend you guys and go and check it out. It will be available tomorrow, which is Thursday, October the 10th. My prayers go out to those that are in Florida that are dealing with a very massive hurricane and storm surges in between. So prayers going out to you guys. But yeah, go and check out this insane ride. We may do a spoiler discussion, but we got so many shows, you guys. Like, you guys have been asking us for everything in the free world. Heck, Penguin is going on right now, and you guys aren't ready at all. So
consistently, yeah.
But yeah, we got a lot more coverage coming. Trust and believe that. Ronan, where can everybody find your content?
You can find me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube, on Twitter, socials. Still wrapping up my coverage of Twilight of the Gods. I'll probably be going back into covering the Penguin, and that's all I'm going to tease right now. Like, there's a lot of stuff I got in the oven that I'll be releasing pretty soon.
Let him cook. Yeah, you guys know we already got a lot going on. Just stay tuned. I'm gonna actually be doing a giveaway really soon. So if you guys are Alien fans, like Alien Romulus, I think I'm gonna be giving away possibly some digital codes for free. So stay tuned for that. We got a little bit more coming. Can't talk about it, but go and check out this insane ride of Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. Peace, people. Have a good night.
Falling out the top of I can see the skyline, 50-mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing